Today's MetroNews television forecast is brought to you by Salango Law. Get results, no excuses.
Oh, thanks for tuning in. We caught some of that widespread daily record heat yesterday. At least 7 spots tied or broke a record high, including a lot of the burgs. Martinsburg, you got to 91 yesterday, Huntington 88, and also some daily warm record lows. Parkersburg got to a low of 68 degrees yesterday, Snowshoe low of 52. Another warm, breezy day. There's a near elevated fire danger day today with the southwest wind and warm conditions, and also watching for an expected this evening, a line of thunderstorms. Most of the state, find your spot here in the dark green. That is a marginal risk of severe weather. Some isolated large hail and damaging winds are possible this afternoon, this evening with the line of storms. Your Fly CRW forecast, it starts at home, and over these cities still well warmer than average too, with some records tied or broken, and still some areas of showers and storms. Tampa, 89 today, 90 tomorrow, 92 Saturday, approaching record highs again. From Panhandle to Panhandle, warm. Showers and storms possible to likely this afternoon, this evening. Isolated severe weather and also a near elevated fire danger before the showers and storms arrive with the southwest breeze. Low near 60 tonight. Eastern areas between 78 to 90 today. Chance of showers and storms late. Southwest breeze, some near record warm lows overnight tonight, upper 50s to low 60s. Watching for some expected showers and storms later today, with also the near elevated fire danger, warm, and lows in the 50s to near 60 tonight. In southern areas, a chance of afternoon evening showers and storms. Highs primarily low to upper 80s, and lows around the 50s to low 60s tonight. In Charleston, chance of showers and storms, 88 today, 84 tomorrow, 88 on Saturday, then a pattern change behind a sweeping, strong cold front. 62 with showers likely on Sunday, 70s middle of next week.
This is Ben Salango with Salango Law. Salango Law has earned a reputation for getting excellent results for our clients. With decades of experience handling thousands of cases, we know what it takes to deliver. Proudly voted Best in the Valley for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Charleston Gazette-Mail, Salango Law is deeply committed to giving back by investing in our community. From supporting local programs to making our region a better place to live, Salango Law is proud to be your trusted legal and community partner. Check us out at salangolaw.com.
Another full show planned, so let's get started. MetroNews Talkline is underway.
Do not attempt to change the station. You are surrounded. We interrupt this program to bring you an emergency news bulletin. Repeat, this is an emergency bulletin. Keep your radio turned on.
From the studios of WVRC Media and the MetroNews Radio and Television Network, the voice of West Virginia, comes the most powerful show in West Virginia. This is MetroNews Talkline with Dave Wilson and TJ Meadows.
Check set lineup link. Activated Telos telephone. Switch network control from Charleston to Morgantown.
Stand by. Q Dave and TJ. You're on. MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
Welcome inside the Encova Insurance Studios. Good morning. Dave Wilson of Morgantown, TJ Meadows in Charleston. Gang's all here. Ethan Collins is handling the audio side of things. If you are listening in on one of our great radio affiliates across the state of West Virginia, Jake Link handles the video stream. If you are watching on the MetroNews TV app or Facebook Live and YouTube Live, shows available there as well. Multiple ways for you to participate in the show. 800-765-TALK, 800-765-8255. Text the show at 304-TALK-304. A little bit later, Albert Wright, WVU Medicine, will stop by. Big investment this year in projects. We'll talk about that. Brad McElhinny, the latest on the Greenbrier. We'll talk to State Supreme Court Justice candidate Laura Faircloth coming up in the second hour. More to come. Let's say good morning to TJ Meadows in Charleston. Good morning, TJ Meadows.
Good morning, sir. When you were a young broadcaster, David, did you ever imagine you would also be a YouTuber?
No. Also, by the way, I tried to impress my young nephews by showing them I was on YouTube.
How'd that go?
And my nephew looked at it and went, I wouldn't watch that. Thanks, buddy. Thanks, Tanner. I appreciate it, buddy.
My kids like to tell their friends, my dad talks on the radio, but it's nothing you'd want to listen to. That's a quote. That's a quote.
Ringing endorsement from the Utes there,
Yeah.
TJ. Ringing endorsement. Larry Pack is the state treasurer of West Virginia. He likes listen. Well, I don't know if he likes listening to this show or not, but he just joined us in studio this morning from Charleston. Morning, Larry.
Hey, good morning, and I absolutely listen to the show for sure.
Appreciate it.
But I don't think my children do.
Well, that's not the target demo at this
No,
point,
it is
I
not.
suppose.
It is not.
Hey, a couple of things we want to get into, but first, release some updated numbers on the Hope Scholarship applications. Over 20,000 students applying for the Hope Scholarship this year.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It really is exciting. So I was in the legislature when we passed the Hope Scholarship bill in 2021, and we did this phase in over a number of years, and we finally got to the point it's universal eligibility, where every K through 12 student in West Virginia has the opportunity to take advantage of a Hope Scholarship if that's something that their parents and they decide to do. So very, very excited for that. We've got another 2 months for people to sign up. Got to June 15th. And so we made the announcement the other day to basically get the number out, but also bring awareness and encourage parents, if you are going to take advantage of this program, you've got 2 more months to sign up, and just really trying to make sure people do it earlier than later so we don't have a big crunch at the end.
When I think about the child that this is meant to serve and find their best environment, I'll tell you who I think about. Joseph Green, David Green's son, Delegate David Green's son.
Sure. Okay.
He's in virtual academy. He's
Yes.
at the legislature 5 days a week
Yes.
with his dad. He's also doing school. It works for him. He's excited. Some kids are like that. They need that. And that's the best path for him. And that's what it's all about, right?
It's all about parents choosing the best path for their students and for their children. And so it could be online school, micro school, a private school, homeschool. There's so many different deviations and choices that people have to make. And again, the majority of parents are going to choose public school, right? So we got about 230,000 K through 12 public school students. We think we're going to have somewhere around 30 on Hope. But it's all about parent choice. Again, after the faith walk of your child, I don't think there's anything else that you pray more about, that you worry more about as a parent than your child's education. So it's very, 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 very rewarding to administer this program, to advocate for this program, and so a lot of good things are happening in West Virginia. But again, I strongly believe you have to be both. I am pro Hope Scholarship, but I'm also very, very pro public schools.
Larry Pack joining us, State Treasurer, here on Metro News Talkline. You can read that story at WVMetronews.com. Larry, you've been involved. You're a veteran of state politics around West Virginia. Is it my naivete? Is it more noticeable, or is it just simply there is more outside money flowing into campaigns here in 2026? What do you make of all this?
Oh, no, it's really changed. I guess I've been involved in state politics, county politics since I was 18, since the first day I worked in the polls, and then, of course, got elected in the city of Marmet, so for a long, long time. But this is kind of the first time I think that we have seen this type of money come in on legislative races in the state of West Virginia. Now, we saw that 2 years ago in the gubernatorial race for the first time, where most of the money that came in really came in from out of state. So to that extent, I think our races, our politics have become more national, at least funded nationally. And so it's really created, I think, a lot of tension between the various factions that are running. I think the other thing that's unusual is usually you see this on a national level. You see this as far as Republicans attacking Democrats or Democrats attacking Republicans. This time in West Virginia, it's an inter-party fight, and it's really really nasty. I try to when I see the mailers that come in the house in the evening, or I see some of the ads on TV. I know these people, and sometimes these ads fit, but most of the time they don't.
One of the things I struggle with, you think about the piece I wrote the other day about the Sugar Maple PAC. You look at who is given to that. Jeff Yass is one. He is the 28th richest person in the world. And you know what? The court says he can give money. And I'll give him this. At least his name is on it. Because some of these expenditures that go to these PACs is the, whoopity-doo fund gives to whom. And to me, that's the issue. How do I know who the whoopity-doo fund is and what they're doing? It's not transparent, and I can't see that that's good for our political discourse.
It's definitely not transparent. There's just a lot of ways to camouflage the money that's coming into our political arena. And so, I'm a pretty simple guy when you think about campaign finance. I think that an individual should be able to give any amount to any candidate and disclose it 24 hours later. That's where I think it should be, but that's not the situation we have. So there's just a lot of opportunity to be able to hide behind facades. Some people choose to, some people don't. Again, we are in America. We have the ability to influence elections, right? And maybe it's even a right or something we should do. I think it's something we should do. But just a lot of money coming into to our state. I'm sure that's going to be in excess of $10 million. Could be up to $20 million on these legislative races, and most of that's going to come in the next 3.5 weeks. But it would be I think what the results after it's over is we'll have a continuation when it gets to the Capitol. When people come back in the legislature, we're going to continue to have a lot of infighting, have a lot of people positioning to try to basically have the power. But I don't think so much of it we're going to work on the agenda trying to help people's lives. So I think that's a disappointing part, because it's really hard to call people really bad names and accuse people of really bad things and then expect them the next day to start working with you.
Talking to Larry Pack, State Treasurer. We talked to Senator Mike Oliverio yesterday on the program, Larry, and he's been in state politics for years, obviously. And he said there's always been governors who will try to put their thumb on the scale to influence a race. Never quite the hammer, as he described Governor Morrissey getting involved. What's the political gamble here? If you get in and start endorsing candidates in a primary, what's the gamble here for a governor who gets involved in a political race?
I'm probably a little different. I don't know the gamble, but I don't really understand the win. If the goal is to move West Virginia forward, and if you want to move West Virginia forward, you have to build a team, right? And you have to have a team. The team's got to consist of both sides of the legislature, the House and the Senate. If you don't have three legs of that stool operating together, working together, as we saw for many years, particularly the last 4 years of the Justice Administration, you just can't do big things. And we've seen that in the last couple of years where there's been a lot of floundering. Yeah, there's been a couple singles hit, but nothing big, nothing really moving West Virginia forward. So that's the problem. I probably don't see the upside. Again, it's within his right. I do commend him for being out front about who he's for and who he's against. But it doesn't seem to be based upon policy. It seems to be based on some other motives or measures. I'm not really sure what they are, but I do not think it's about moving West Virginia forward. I think it's about, I presume it's about continuing what we've seen for the last year and a half.
Which means 2 more years of stalemate.
Well, yeah, there's no question. What does it say? To win a race, you got to pass somebody, right? You got to get ahead of them. We're really, I think, in a lot of measures, we're falling behind. So if you look at employment, our employment's down over the last year and a half. We see, we all see the advancement, the things that are going on outside of our borders, and particularly our surrounding borders. So Ohio, Kentucky, there's a lot of great things. Pennsylvania, and Virginia, I don't think you can say that West Virginia is moving at the same pace as our surrounding states. So again, if you want to pass somebody, if you want to move up in rankings, you've got to do something. Even when you talk about teacher salaries, right? So the last year and a half, we've given them 3%, 1.5% per year. When you factor in inflation, we're paying our teachers less than we were 2 years ago. How are we going to attract new teachers? How are we going to retain the teachers that we have if we're paying them less than we were a couple of years ago? So we've got a lot of work to do. I hope once we get this next 3 or 4 weeks together that we'll come together and realize that we've got to work together. And just winning at politics is one thing, but politics does not change people's lives. If we want to change people's lives, we have to govern, and to govern, you got to work together.
By the way, early voting for the May primary begins April 29th. Tuesday is the last day to change or update your voter, or just register to vote in general, your voter registration status. Larry Pack, West Virginia State Treasurer. Always appreciate you stopping by, Larry. Good conversation. Thank you, buddy.
Have a great day. Thanks, guys.
You as well. Coming up, we'll visit with Albert Wright, WVU Medicine, making another significant investment in projects around the state. We'll talk about that right after this.
Worried about paying for college? MetroNews is proud to present the 19th annual West Virginia Scholar Program, where one high school junior in West Virginia will win a full scholarship to West Virginia Wesleyan College, including room, board, tuition, and fees. For details, go to WVMetroNews.com and click the Apply Now button. Deadline is May 3rd. The 2026 West Virginia Scholar Program, presented by Greer Industries and the West Virginia Hospital Association. Go to WVMetroNews.com and apply today by May 3rd.
Tens of thousands of hardworking West Virginians earn their living in our state's growing natural gas industry, including thousands for Antero Resources, West Virginia's top natural gas producer. Antero's investments are boosting our local workforce and small businesses. We're proud to give back and invest locally to support West Virginia workers producing West Virginia energy. But the Mountain State's best days are ahead, and Antero Resources is just getting started. Visit AnteroResources.com to learn more.
Looking for a career that truly matters? Healthcare offers stability, great benefits, and careers that are in demand right now. From patient care to technology and support roles, healthcare careers offer flexibility and opportunity. Not sure where you fit? Take the quick healthcare career quiz at explorehealthcareerswv.com. Discover the path that's right for you. Healthcare careers, where passion meets purpose.
Welcome back, class of 2011. Most likely to be a millionaire, didn't quite make it. Hey, reunion's not over yet.
Over here, millionaire, smile.
Make room, people.
Who is that?
Congratulations to our very own Millionaire for Life.
Never too late, man.
You could win up to $1 million every year with Millionaire for Life. Play in store or online today. West Virginia Lottery. 18 plus to play. Play responsibly.
Are you ready to reach the finish line of retirement? At the Stike team at Wealth Enhancement Group, we provide comprehensive guidance for retirement planning in West Virginia. With years of experience, we'll draft a plan tailored for your unique goals. Whether you're just starting or nearing retirement, we make the process as simple as possible, easy, and stress-free. Visit wealthenhancement.com/Stike to set up a complimentary consultation and get started on your plan today. Let's work toward your dream retirement together.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
On the next State of Minds.
When something like punk rock comes around, it's very anti-everything, and people were really looking down on what they were brought up with. And for us, we found it was kind of fun to embrace it.
Is it a moment or like they're having an episode?
No, but you're right. You're right. We are having a moment. Yeah.
Sunshine, open roads, and a new Toyota from Tangle Toyota World. Lease an all-new Camry for as low as $398 a month. All-new Tundras now up to $8,000 off. All-new Tacomas now up to $4,500 off, or lease as low as $399 a month. $7,500 off the new BZ or 0% financing for 72 months. We've got a Toyota for you at Tangle Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
Isaac Saul from Tangle News is going to join us bottom of the hour. We'll talk about the latest with the war in Iran, get you left, right, and right down the middle perspective of what is happening halfway around the globe. Happening right here in West Virginia, the WVU Health System Board of Directors has approved a plan to invest hundreds of millions of dollars into the healthcare infrastructure of West Virginia. Albert Wright is a friend of the show. He's also the President and CEO of WVU Health System, and he joins us on MetroNews Talkline this morning. Albert, good morning, and thanks for joining us.
Hello, good morning, and thank you for having me on.
What does this signal for the third consecutive year to be investing hundreds of millions into the health system?
Yeah, no, I think we're in a very blessed position to do this. And Dave, I think it signals WVU Medicine's ongoing commitment to, meet our mission to improve the health trajectory of the state of West Virginia. And as, we've talked about over the last few years, we've really built up our academic medical center in Morgantown. But over these last few years, and this will continue for the foreseeable future, we're really trying to build breadth and depth of clinical services and clinical access for patients around the state. And so, this is the third year in a row that we've batched, some of our clinical products for our clinical investments around the state, that we batched these capital projects, I should say, for our April board meeting. And as long as the health system continues to do well from a finance standpoint and from a quality standpoint, we'll continue to do this. And, this year we have about $350 million of 10 projects that really cover the entire state of West Virginia and a couple of the surrounding regional areas as well. So we're blessed to be able to do this, and it's an exciting day.
Albert, good morning. Thank you for being here. Crystallize that investment a bit for us and give us a sense of the type of capital improvements WVU Medicine will make and how those improvements will serve patients.
Yes, thanks, TJ. So, we have what we consider to be a 10-year capital plan based on, needs of facilities and opportunities for clinical growth. And in some cases, they're both, So sometimes we have hospitals that join the system and have, facilities that are, were state of the art in 1935 and probably don't work as well in, 2026 as they do as healthcare's change and, patients don't want to share private rooms anymore or semi-private rooms anymore, or operating rooms that are too small for the complex procedures we do today. So some of the infrastructure projects, Dave and TJ, are really around just bringing facilities up to current standards. In some cases, it's adding clinical services. I'll give you two examples. In Parkersburg, which is the biggest project we approved, we're going to build a new bed tower that will completely modernize Camden Clark Hospital, which is a hospital with great history. But some of the hospital floors there are historically truly what we would have considered wards back in the day, where multiple patients are sharing rooms and communal showers. And by building this new Eastern Tower, we will have beautiful facilities and private rooms with, all of the expected amenities. And then we'll be able to go back and renovate those older facilities so that when Camden Clark is all said and done, it'll be a 300-bed, all private room hospital right there on the Ohio River, poised in downtown to make sure that is a great facility. Now up in Weirton, we're going to build a new radiation oncology center, which has never been available in that community. They've always had medical oncology, but patients have had to go, out of the northern panhandle to receive radiation oncology. So that's an example of a new building and a new clinical service for that region. So most of our projects fall into one of those two categories.
Talking to Albert Wright, President and CEO of WVU Health System. The board approving I say that like it's simple, $350 million in projects this year. But the expansion, Albert, not only here in West Virginia, but you're also touching places like Oakland, Maryland, across the river in St. Clairsville, Ohio. So WVU Medicine is really taking on this regional approach of serving West Virginia and some of these very closely surrounding areas.
Yeah, our footprint, has expanded to spill over into some of those border states. Obviously a big part of Western Maryland and Oakland, where we're going to build a radiation oncology center there. Dave, when I drive from my car from Morgantown out to the Eastern Panhandle, you spend about an hour or an hour and a half in Maryland going through there. So we consider that, part of our core service area, so we'll expand and continue to build at Garrett Regional Medical Center there in Oakland. Over in the greater Wheeling region, the northern panhandle, we did decide, and we've not historically built many new hospitals in our health system outside of course, the Children's Hospital here in Morgantown, but there has been a lot of healthcare disruption, up in the Wheeling area over the last decade. Obviously, we have a number of great hospitals up there now at Wheeling Hospital, Wetzel County, Reynolds Memorial, Weirton Medical Center. On the Ohio side, though, they've had a couple facilities closed down, older hospitals closed down over the last decade. And we get a lot of patients from St. Clairsville, Ohio, coming over into Wheeling proper. And we just made the decision to consolidate a lot of our outpatient offices on that Ohio side, put a small community hospital where we'll have all of our clinical services, imaging, we'll have a great emergency department and a small inpatient unit. And we had bought 43 acres right on the highway there in St. Clairsville a few years back, and we were holding that property until we were ready to kind of take the clinical services to that community. And
hey, Albert, we're right up against the clock. We appreciate the time this morning. Thanks for coming on. This is Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia. It's 10:30. Let's get a news update from the Metro News Radio Network. Find out what's happening all across the great state of West Virginia.
Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Salango Law. Get results, no excuses.
Oh, thanks for tuning in. We caught some of that widespread daily record heat yesterday. At least 7 spots tied or broke a record high, including a lot of the burgs. Martinsburg, you got to 91 yesterday, Huntington 88, and also some daily warm record lows. Parkersburg got to a low of 68 degrees yesterday, Snowshoe low of 52. Another warm, breezy day. There's a near elevated fire danger day today with the southwest wind and warm conditions, and also watching for an expected this afternoon, this evening, a line of thunderstorms. Most of the state, find your spot here in the dark green. That is a marginal risk of severe weather. Some isolated large hail and damaging winds are possible this afternoon, this evening with the line of storms. Your Fly CRW forecast, it starts at home, and over these cities still well warmer than average too, with some records tied or broken, and still some areas of showers and storms. Tampa, 89 today, 90 tomorrow, 92 Saturday, approaching record highs again. From panhandle to panhandle, warm, showers and storms possible to likely this afternoon, this evening. Isolated severe weather and also a near elevated fire danger before the showers and storms arrive with the southwest breeze. Low near 60 tonight. Eastern areas between 78 to 90 today. Chance of showers and storms late. Southwest breeze, some near record warm lows overnight tonight, upper 50s to low 60s. Watching for some expected showers and storms later today, with also the near elevated fire danger, warm, and lows in the 50s to near 60 tonight. In southern areas, a chance of afternoon evening showers and storms. Highs primarily low to upper 80s, and lows around the 50s to low 60s tonight. In Charleston, chance of showers and storms, 88 today, 84 tomorrow, 88 on Saturday, then a pattern change behind a sweeping, strong cold front. 62 with showers likely on Sunday, 70s middle of next week.
This is Ben Salango with Salango Law. Salango Law has earned a reputation for getting excellent results for our clients. With decades of experience handling thousands of cases, we know what it takes to deliver. Proudly voted Best in the Valley for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Charleston Gazette-Mail, Salango Law is deeply committed to giving back by investing in our community. From supporting local programs to making our region a better place to live, Salango Law is proud to be your trusted legal and community partner. Check us out at salangolaw.com.
On the next State of Minds.
When something like punk rock comes around, it's very anti-everything, and people were really looking down on what they were brought up with. And for us, we found it was kind of fun to embrace it.
Is it a moment or like they're having an episode?
No, but you're right. You're right. We are having a moment. Yeah.
The text line is 304-TALK 304. We will attempt to get to some text today. Loaded up show. Brad McElhinny will have the latest on the legal wranglings regarding the ownership of the Greenbrier Hotel and Resort. Well, that coming up about 10 minutes from now. Hoppy Kercheval will join us at the top of the hour. Isaac Saul runs the Tangle News. Tangle is an independent, nonpartisan, subscriber-supported political newsletter that summarizes the best arguments from across the political spectrum on the news of the day. Plus, Isaac will give you his take on what is happening. Joining us on MetroNews Talkline this morning is the aforementioned Isaac Saul. Isaac, good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, fellas. Glad to be here.
We continue to watch the military operations, if you will, in Iran. As just saw a headline a moment ago that 14 ships have been blocked from leaving ports over there in the Strait of Hormuz. What's been the reaction across the spectrum to the blockade and the latest strategy by the U.S.?
Well, I mean, as you know, on the right, the war has caused quite a bit of a divide among the kind of MAGA Republican coalition. There are some folks who obviously support the president pursuing this. They want to see the regime wiped off the face of the earth. They want to see terrorist proxies across the Middle East weakened. They want to see Iran's Navy and Air Force destroyed, all goals the president has set out to advance and in some cases has already accomplished. And there are other people who just see this as a kind of redux of the Middle East wars that Trump ran against in his first term. And Vice President J.D. Vance has talked a lot about not getting dragged back into. You know, a lot of money's being sunken into this. The administration's asking for an additional $500 billion for their military budget next year. So I would say the right's divided while the left is pretty uniformly opposed to the fact that Trump and the Trump administration are conducting these operations without congressional authorization. That's been their talking point, which I think is a signal some of them probably support the administration's goals, but they don't want to come out and say that publicly, so they attack him for the manner in which he's going about it. So it's divided on the right, and on the left, there's been uniform opposition, I think, for different reasons.
I have a few specific questions, but first, let's transition to your take on the situation.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I have I think a difficult time navigating this particular story because I think the threat that Iran poses to Americans who traverse the Middle East and to our allies in the Middle East and Europe is very real. I think the administration has identified a problem that a lot of people and past administrations have talked about, but never really done anything about. And I think they're right to want to see a lot of change among the regime. They're right to want to, quote unquote, liberate the people of Iran who don't want to live under this theocratic rule. And they're right that we've faced, U.S. soldiers being attacked, our allies being attacked by terrorist proxy groups that Iran funds. At the same time, Trump ran on not doing, I think, what he's doing right now, which is dragging us into what could be a potential quagmire. The Strait of Hormuz is probably the best example of the unpredictability of war. I mean, this is a situation that we did not have to deal with 2 months ago, whether ships could pass through this really important shipping lane without paying millions of dollars to a terrorist regime, as the Trump administration defines it. And now that's the reality we're living in downstream of this war starting. And the administration doesn't seem to have a good plan for undoing that problem they helped create. So that's the risk of war. We have some soldiers who have lost their lives. We've spent tens of billions of dollars already. I'm not sure the situation is better or more stable than it was a few months ago. And so I'm pretty critical of the outcomes so far, despite believing in the mission that the administration says they were out to accomplish.
Talking to Isaac Saul with Tangle News. As far as you mentioned the quagmire, I don't know how to phrase this, Isaac. I don't know if it is a lack of communication with the Trump administration, because, look, communication and rolling out exactly what this administration wants to do has been a nightmare, whether it's this, Epstein files, immigration policy. Communications has been a nightmare. You've got different people saying different things. Or is it just that chaotic behind the scenes that nobody really does know what the end goal is or what the actual objectives are? So when they go out to the press or they go out and have a news conference, everybody says something a little bit different and leaves all of us going, Is it nuclear weapons? Is it regime change? Is it controlling? Is it crude oil? What is the goal of being over there?
Yeah, it's a good question and a great point. I think speaking to people inside the administration and also some high-ranking military officials who I've used as sources who told me that this military operation war, whatever you want to call it, was coming. What I've understood is that there is a genuine debate that's happening behind closed doors, and that oftentimes we don't know what the president is going to decide, and the administration is torn itself. And the generals and the high-ranking military officials are following orders without always knowing exactly why they're going, where they're going, or what the next order is going to be. Which isn't unprecedented. Of course, this happens and has happened in the past. But I think in this case, it's extraordinarily fraught because the administration is answering a lot of questions. Trump is famously accessible to the media. So he's answering a lot of questions on a day-to-day basis. And on Monday, he's saying one thing, and on Tuesday, he's saying another thing. And that looks really bad. And maybe it's a reflection of the position of the administration changing overnight, or debates that are unfolding, or whoever the last person Trump spoke to was compelling him to some particular position. But it certainly undermined their credibility with the public. And, the New York Times had a really great in-depth report that the administration did not really push back on about how the decision to go into war happened. And according to that really in-depth reporting, which again, nobody I saw really push back on, the members of Trump's cabinet were divided about this. I mean, Marco Rubio told him that Israel's, plans were BS, that they wouldn't be able to follow through on their promises. J.D. Vance wasn't even in the room. The chief of staff said she was unsure about how to sell this to the public, but she would support him. I mean, they had their qualms, and he ultimately made the decision he made, and he's the commander in chief, so they have to follow him into the fire. So I just don't think the administration is really unified on this particular operation and decision. And so that creates a lot of the conflict we see publicly.
Isaac, when there are so many variables and things are murky, I tend to like to look at the economics. And I saw in your latest piece something I've been wanting to talk about, so I'm delighted that we can bring it up. How, if at all, does the concept of the petrodollar play into all of this?
Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, the biggest way that it plays into it, I would say, is it gives Iran a lot of leverage, because if they're attacking Gulf state oil companies and they're disrupting the way oil is flowing through the Middle East, downstream of that, we're going to have a big economic impact, not just in the dollar rising, not just in the cost of oil rising, but in the way that Gulf states in the future are going to decide how to tie their fate to ours. The way that it's worked for many decades now is that these Gulf states have effectively decided to buy and sell their oil with the US dollar, which has kind of tied them to us inextricably. And it's created a lot of mutual self-interest. It's made it so that our values and the things that we want out of the global economy are often aligned. And if that system gets really disrupted or breaks down, or, we see the mechanics of how that works change, then everything that happens downstream of that, the incentives, the alliances, the way in which the oil actually moves across the planet, all of that is liable to change too. And we're seeing it right now. The cost of a barrel of oil goes up $10. That means shipping cost goes up. That means costs of plastic go up. That means all these things that are vital to the global economy shift in meaningful ways that we then feel. So it's a really big deal. I'm not sure, how serious the threat to the whole petrodollar infrastructure is yet, but I suspect it's going to be something we hear a lot more about if the war continues to carry on in the manner it has so far.
Isaac Saul with Tangle News. Isaac, where can we find the newsletter?
You can go to readtangle.com and subscribe for free. And of course, invite all your listeners to come check it out if they're looking for a more balanced and holistic way to consume the news. It's what we're after right now.
Yeah, you get the right, the left, and everything in between perspectives on what is happening. Isaac Saul, Tangle News, thanks for the perspective this morning. Appreciate the context.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Brad McElhinny coming up next, the latest on the legal wranglings over the ownership of the Greenbrier Resort. Plus, Hoppy Kercheval comes up top of the hour. This is Talkline from the Encove Insurance Studios.
Of thousands of hardworking West Virginians earn their living in our state's growing natural gas industry, including thousands for Antero Resources, West Virginia's top natural gas producer. Antero's investments are boosting our local workforce and small businesses. We're proud to give back and invest locally to support West Virginia workers producing West Virginia energy. But the Mountain State's best days are ahead, and Antero Resources is just getting started. Visit AnteroResources.com to learn more.
Looking to advance your career without putting life on hold? Earn your MBA from Glenville State University in as little as 18 months. Choose from in-demand concentrations like artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, and healthcare administration. Whether you're leading teams, analyzing data, or protecting digital systems, our programs are designed for working professionals who want flexibility and results. Take the next step with an MBA from Glenville State University. Learn more and apply today at glenville.edu.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
For over 4 decades, we've been rooted deep inside West Virginia. Through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Proudly serving your neighborhood since 1979. Your trusted partner in the community.
The health plan. We are here for you.
They say you can't take the lottery with you. But now, you can play anywhere, anytime with iPlay, the West Virginia Lottery's official app. From Cooper's Rock to the Greenbrier River, from the bleachers to your living room, iPlay goes where you do. Safe, simple, and always West Virginia proud. Play anywhere, anytime. Download iPlay today. iPlay, the fun, secure way to play. Wherever life takes you. 18 plus to play. Play responsibly.
Located in the heart of West Virginia, Bridgeport is the place to play. Endless indoor and outdoor recreation opportunities, including the Bridgeport Complex, coupled with a dynamic food scene, make Bridgeport the perfect getaway destination for couples and families. Explore unique shopping and pick from a wealth of lodging options to find something perfect for your needs. Explore the heart of West Virginia in Bridgeport. Learn more about all there is to do at greater-bridgeport.com.
Approach your retirement with confidence. With over 150 years of combined experience, the advisors of the Stike team at Wealth Enhancement Group provide advice and wealth management strategies to individuals, families, small businesses, professional offices, and institutions. With the Stike team, you'll have access to an advising team with extensive resources, a client-first mindset, and a passion for helping transform the lives of those we serve. Visit wealthenhancement.com/Stike today and join the team that's dedicated to your success.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Patients who have allergies and sinusitis, they have worse quality of life on many levels. At the WVU Medicine Sinus and Allergy Center, we provide all the most recent technology in office procedures to help patients who cannot breathe through their nose. Patients come in, within half an hour they can leave. Whatever problem with the sinus and allergy you're having, we can help you get the right treatment.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
For your daily fix of sports in West Virginia, there's only one stop.
I would imagine a group of you got together and watched the Mountaineers last night. What were your thoughts on that performance?
It was funny, we were sitting with a guy last night, and he said, all right, I'm going to go put $1,000 on it. Well, down the stretch of that ball game, he's looking at us like, are you kidding me? And sure enough, the Mountaineers came back. I saw him today. He said, yep, I'm putting another $1,000 on them tomorrow.
Sportsline on Metro News Television.
Longer days, warmer drives, and better deals at Dan Cava GMC. Hit the road in one of our new luxury GMC Acadias. Take your pick from our massive selection. Now up to $5,500 off select new Acadias and 3.9% for 60 months. The great deals continue with our large selection of quality pre-owned vehicles. All this and more at Dan Cava GMC in Bridgeport. Shop the world.
MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
Over at WVMetroNews.com this morning, Brad McElhinny has an update as the saga continues over the ownership of the Greenbrier Hotel and Resort. Senator Jim Justice and his family asking a federal judge to halt a move to transfer responsibility of the resort to a receiver. Brad McElhinny joins us on Metro News Talkline. Brad, good morning. Another day, another legal filing.
Oh, hi. You didn't think they were going to take this lying down, did you?
Of course
the
not.
The motto of the Greenbrier, if you go stay there, is it's sleepy time down south, but it is not sleepy time in the court system.
So what is this motion?
Yeah, so the justices and their ownership group are asking U.S. District Judge Frank Volk for a stay, meaning to stop everything in this federal court action where the owners of the Omni Resort Hotel Company have been asking for a receiver, a court-ordered third party to take control from the justices and run the Greenbrier. They're asking for that to not happen, and there are the major theme of what the justices previously claimed in their own lawsuit in Greenbrier County Circuit Court, and now in this first shot that they fired in federal court, the major theme is that they believe the parent company of Omni Hotel and Resorts has engaged in fraudulent behavior, that Omni should not have control of these loan documents and therefore should not have control of the finances of the Greenbrier, because the justices claim that Omni has been acting fraudulently and in conspiracy with Carter Bank and Trust dating back to years, dating back to 2024, the Omni owners initially coming in under the guise of being advisors, and the justices now claim that over that time, in an evolving situation, the Omni owners used information that they gained during that collaborative process to now leverage the Greenbrier's finances and use the information against the justices. So they're saying to Judge Volk, cut it off, make it stop. All of this is fraudulent. Do not put this in the hands of a receiver.
So, Brad, this 626-page document that Justice has filed, I'm looking at here, or his attorneys have filed. So we've heard from Omni. They want the receivership. Justice's folks weighing in say, no, squash it. I mean, at this point, does that create the sense of urgency where Volk can now get into this and either rule immediately or not on the receivership? Does it create some kind of timeline now that he's heard from both parties?
Legally, I think this strategy is called throwing sand in the gears. And so, I think that's been a heavy... I'm not only not a lawyer, I'm not a federal judge, but I think to take away the physical property of a U.S. senator and his family, a beloved and historic West Virginia resort, that's a heavy ask of an officer of the court. Mm-hmm. And so, again, caveman judge here, if I were Judge Volk, I would be very cautious no matter what. But I think, your whiteboard at this point should be very full of claims and counterclaims. It's only been a week. Less than a week. And so I think that one of Judge Volk's potential options is he could just say, yeah, we're seizing the property. It's going to be in the hands of the receiver. He potentially could do that without even having a hearing. I think odds are very low that he would make that kind of sudden move. And I think it is increasing odds that, one or more hearings are held, maybe not even immediately. Omni has asked for an emergency move to a receiver. I just think that caution is probably more likely here.
Metro News statewide correspondent Brad McElhinny. I'll give you 45 seconds, Brad, to give us the what we need to know about forbearance agreements.
So the Wilsons, the Meadowses, and the McElhinnys all agree that we are risk averse and would not sign such a document. However, there are certain circumstances where it may be your strategy. It's a forbearance agreement is what occurs when you are admitting that you are already in default. You go into a forbearance agreement already in default on your loans. But what it does is it potentially buys you time to make good or to satisfy the creditor in some way. But the gamble is by signing it, the creditor is in control of your collateral, your property, whatever you can put up. It's a gamble. And that is what the justices have signed. The most recent one was February 28th, but it was the 14th forbearance agreement that they've gone into. And that's what has them over a barrel now. And Omni and its owners have bought the rights to that forbearance agreement from Carter Bank and Trust. And boy, it lays out all kinds of financial risk to the justices, with the possibility that's now expiring that they could potentially pay it down.
Well done. MetroNews statewide correspondent Brad McElhinny. You can read the latest right now over at the website, WVMetroNews.com. Thank you, Brad. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
Coming up, we'll wrap up the first hour of a very busy MetroNews Talkline. We're back in a moment.
Generation remains the backbone of West Virginia's energy portfolio, ensuring reliability, security, and affordable electricity throughout the region. Our coal plants are engineered for performance, designed to run most efficiently at or near a 70% capacity factor. This level of operation is not arbitrary. It's based on sound engineering principles, scientific analysis, and has been formally adopted by the West Virginia Legislature as a reasonable target for optimal performance. When our coal fleet operates near that benchmark, it provides stable power to the grid, maintains cost efficiency, and supports thousands of good-paying jobs across our state. Coal generation also drives local tax revenue that sustains schools, infrastructure, and community services. Working in partnership with state leaders and the Trump administration, we're ensuring that our coal fleet remains modern, efficient, and ready to power West Virginia and beyond for decades to come. This message brought to you by the West Virginia Coal Association and Friends of Coal.
Senator Shelley Moore Capito is more than a true conservative and proud West Virginian. She's a champion of our way of life. She doesn't just fight, she delivers, working with President Trump to close the border and keep our families safe, protect our energy jobs, and cut taxes, and establishing the New River Gorge National Park, a powerful economic engine. Shelley Moore Capito, our senator, our champion.
I'm Shelley Moore Capito, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Capito for West Virginia.
This boating season, elevate your family time with Lou Wendell Marine Sales. Proudly family-owned for over 40 years, Lou and his sons are West Virginia's largest Avalon pontoon dealer. Trusted experts in premium boats, motors, and service. Discover refined comfort, elegant design, and performance you can feel. Now is the perfect time to take advantage of preseason savings. At Lou Wendell Marine Sales, they don't just sell boats. They sell family fun. Visit LouWendellMarineSales.com because the weekend's almost here.
I'm Tom Willis, running against Shelley Moore Capito for U.S. Senate. Sarah and I love raising our kids here in West Virginia. You're the best people in the world, and it has been my honor to serve West Virginia for 26 years in the West Virginia National Guard, including flood duties all over our great state, and now in the state Senate. Shelley has abandoned our West Virginia traditional Christian family values, is ranked as one of the top insider traders in the U.S. Senate, and instead of negotiating for West Virginia families, got her son appointed as DA. I'm Tom Willis, and I approve this message because it's time for a change, West Virginia.
Paid for by Tom Willis Victory.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
I'm Sean Kovich, Mountaineer Golf Coach. When disaster strikes your home, business, or golf game, call the restoration company the Mountaineers call. Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
Jackpots are growing in West Virginia. Jackpots are on the rise every week. Powerball hits Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. Mega Millions lights up Tuesdays and Fridays. That's 5 chances a week to get in on life-changing jackpots. Play in-store and online. 18 plus to play. Please play responsibly. Powerball jackpot is $75 million. Mega Millions is $130 million. This is Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Salango Law. Get results, no excuses.
Oh, thanks for tuning in. We caught some of that widespread daily record heat yesterday. At least 7 spots tied or broke a record high, including a lot of the burgs. Martinsburg, you got to 91 yesterday, Huntington 88, and also some daily warm record lows. Parkersburg got to a low of 68 degrees yesterday, Snowshoe low of 52. Another warm, breezy day. There's a near elevated fire danger day today with the southwest wind and warm conditions, and also watching for an expected this afternoon, this evening, a line of thunderstorms. Most of the state, find your spot here in the dark green. That is a marginal risk of severe weather. Some isolated large hail and damaging winds are possible this afternoon, this evening with the line of storms. Your Fly CRW forecast, it starts at home, and over these cities still well warmer than average too, with some records tied or broken, and still some areas of showers and storms. Tampa, 89 today, 90 tomorrow, 92 Saturday, approaching record highs again. From Panhandle to Panhandle, warm, showers and storms possible to likely this afternoon, this evening. Isolated severe weather and also a near elevated fire danger before the showers and storms arrive with the southwest breeze. Low near 60 tonight. Eastern areas between 78 to 90 today. Chance of showers and storms late. Southwest breeze, some near record warm lows overnight tonight, upper 50s to low 60s. Watching for some expected showers and storms later today with also the near elevated fire danger, warm, and lows in the 50s to near 60 tonight. In southern areas, a chance of afternoon evening showers and storms. Highs primarily low to upper 80s and lows around the 50s to low 60s tonight. In Charleston, chance of showers and storms, 88 today, 84 tomorrow, 88 on Saturday, then a pattern change behind a sweeping strong cold front. 62 with showers likely on Sunday, 70s middle of next week.
This is Ben Salango with Salango Law. Salango Law has earned a reputation for getting excellent results for our clients. With decades of experience handling thousands of cases, we know what it takes to deliver. Proudly voted Best in the Valley for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Charleston Gazette-Mail, Salango Law is deeply committed to giving back by investing in our community. From supporting local programs to making our region a better place to live, Salango Law is proud to be your trusted legal and community partner. Check us out at Salango Law.
MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
Second hour of MetroNews Talkline from the Encova Insurance Studios. Thank you for being part of the program this morning. If you're listening in on one of our great radio affiliates across the state of West Virginia, or on the Metro News television app, Facebook Live, and YouTube. Gang's all here. TJ is in Charleston. Ethan Collins is our audio producer, and Jake Link handles the video side of things. You can let us know what is on your mind at 800-765-TALK or shoot us a text at 304-TALK-304. Bottom of the hour, we'll talk to candidate for the West Virginia Supreme Court of Appeals, Laura Faircloth, will join us. Also, do you remember how TJ and I may or may not be involved in a little ethics case with Judge Mary Claire Akers down in Kanawha County? We may somehow have played a role in all of that. Well, there's been a little bit of an update to that case. Chris Dickerson with the West Virginia Record going to join us as well to explain the latest development in that case. With all that said, good morning, TJ.
This filing is extraordinary. I'm reading through this 626-page document.
Oh, the justice filing.
That the justices filed. Man, it gets chippy quick. Page 7. Omni Hotels accepted millions in PPP funds but didn't pay their workers, quoting an NPR story. So everybody's talking trash, Dave.
I am not the brightest bulb around, TJ. I am but a humble radio host. Well, not humble all the time. I don't know if I would want to get chippy. Look, there are certain people you can get chippy with, right? Would you want to get chippy with Texas billionaires who want to buy your property? Or not want to buy it, want to take it?
I wouldn't get chippy with either entity on either side of this transaction because they can squash me like a bug. But your point is well taken.
Speaking of getting chippy, it's not a good transition. But Hoppy Kercheval writes about the Greenbrier over at WVMetroNews.com this morning. Who will save the Greenbrier this time is the title of his commentary. The Dean joins us on Metro News Talkline. Good morning, Hoppy. So who will save the Greenbrier this time?
Well, that's the question that I wrote about and goes unanswered in the commentary today. But 17 years ago, Jim Justice saved the Greenbrier. In 2009, the resort was days away from shuttering, and supposedly there was maybe another buyer interested. In Jim Justice swooped in, bought the Greenbrier, so there was local ownership, invested money in the Greenbrier, expanded the sports complexes there, added the casino, and as Justice would say, everything was good in the neighborhood for a while. And then Justice has run into myriad fiscal challenges over the last several years, had trouble paying his bills, and according to a filing by Omni, the Justice family that operates the Greenbrier has been taking profits from the Greenbrier and staving off the debts of other Justice businesses and not reinvesting in the hotel. So, look, Brad did a really good job last hour of explaining the legal fight that's going on here and the filings back and forth. I think two important points here. One is that the Greenbrier is a gem in the mountains of West Virginia. It is historic. It is luxurious, although I'll get to that in a minute. And it is a significant part of West Virginia's identity. Now, most West Virginians cannot afford, or would they afford, to stay there, but that doesn't mean it's not significant in our history and in how we view ourselves. It's a top destination, or it has been, for people around the world. That's number one. And you would want to see that preserved. So who's best to preserve that? The second thing is, I think about the employees. Roughly 1,000 people work there, more during the busy times of the year. And they've gone through a lot, and they show up every day. They provide, as Brad said, ladies and gentlemen serving ladies and gentlemen. And they provide these services. And it's been a roller coaster ride for them for the last several years. At one point, it was thought the Greenbrier was going to be sold on the courthouse steps. There were delayed payments for health benefits, remitting to the state, sales taxes, all these things that have made an uncertain future for these workers. And to me, the two most important things is the fate, the security of those employees, and the economic benefits of the Greenbrier, and the maintenance and the preservation of the Greenbrier Hotel itself.
It seems to me that the senator will have a very difficult time letting this go because it's part of his identity. Hoppy is known for saving the Greenbrier, but if I recall, help me with the history, he had already sold his mining operations when he acquired the Greenbrier, and now he has those mining operations back, has for some time. It just seems like that, being a governor, being a senator, one too many irons in the fire. It's tough to serve all of those masters, and maybe, to your point, maybe it's time to step aside for the greater good.
Well, what we know about Jim Justice is that he has a considerable ego, that his identity is tied in many ways to the Greenbrier Resort, and that he typically does not sell his businesses, and he's got dozens of them. And he spends a lot of time, he and his family spend a lot of time, again, trying to stave off the creditors and moving money around, but he doesn't like to sell things. And it would probably be personally, even though he's a United States senator, it would probably be personally embarrassing to him and his family if he had to sell the Greenbrier Hotel.
It would be a loss, and I don't mean a loss, well, it'd be a loss financially, Hoppy, but being the competitive person that he is, I think he would view that as losing. Just like if you lost a ball game, and I just don't see that in Jim Justice's personality for him to go, yep, we tried, didn't work out, we're going to sell out for the greater good. I think is how TJ described it, the greater good. That is just not his personality. He's too competitive. He has an ego, which if you're going to be successful in business, you have to have. And that does not seem like that is the outcome that is going to come to fruition, voluntarily at least.
Yeah, and we'll see. I mean, again, Brad has done a really good job of reporting on all these filings in this case, and lawyers will clean up all details, and then lawyers will figure it out. It feels like, though, and you got to be careful about this because it seems like that before, but it feels like that Justice and Justice family businesses on the Greenbrier, it feels like they are backed into a substantial corner in this case. When it was Carter Bank owning the debt, they were going back and forth, and the old saying, if I owe the bank $1 million, I have a problem. If I owe the bank $300 million, the bank has a problem. And it felt like that this thing with Carter Bank was just ongoing. And then Omni buys the debt, and Omni's not a bank. Omni is a hotel and resort, high-end hotel and resort company. They don't want to be a lender. They want to be an owner. And they have moved swiftly with steps that would lead you to the conclusion that they want to own the Greenbrier, right? That's what they're trying to do with these filings that have happened very, very rapidly. And now it's in the hands, or part of it will be in the hands of a federal judge in West Virginia.
This idea of 50% interest in the senator's counterclaim here in his other lawsuit,
right.
He talks about they had come up with a deal, forgiveness of $200 million of the debt for a 50% interest. The more I read about Robert Rowling, that Texas billionaire who sold his firm to Texaco and now owns Omni, that doesn't fit into his MO. He talks about the fact the only way you can control quality in your hotels is if you own the hotel completely, outright. I'm paraphrasing. I also don't see a partnership being something the senator is really interested in. So whether or not that was floated, whether or not there was acceptance and consideration, it just doesn't seem like a situation to me based on what we know of these individuals, Hoppy, that could ever really work. Maybe I'm too cruel in that assessment, but
well, I don't know. I think you raise a good point. I mean, could two powerful individuals with considerable egos share responsibility for the Greenbrier? I don't know. I mean, yeah, what the justice lawyer, Steve Rubio, said is that, look, we had this sort of deal to split 50-50, and then Omni pulled out of the deal. And I love the language, quote, that Omni, quote, is attempting to snatch the Greenbrier Resort from local ownership of the Justice family. I love the word snatch in there. So, and as you talked about the filing you're reading through, I mean, this thing is really heated up quickly. But I want to go back to the original point, is that, again, this Greenbrier, I mean, it goes back to the 18th century. It has hosted 5 sitting presidents. It's hosted royalty from around the world. It's hosted any number of high-end conferences. It served as a hospital for soldiers from the Civil War, from World War II. It had the bunker where the U.S. was going to station its political leadership if there was a nuclear attack. I mean, this place is historic and significant, and you just want to see it preserved and also improved. If you go to TripAdvisor.com and read some of the reviews are pretty brutal about the condition of the Greenbrier right now. You know, that people saying it's lost its 5-star luster. So you want to see it maintained, preserved, and frankly, according to many observations, improved.
Hoppy has the commentary this morning over at the website. Who will save the Greenbrier this time? Read it at WVMetroNews.com. Is there a new Three Guys coming today, Hop?
Not today, but we had a great time last night. We were at the ballpark in Hagerstown for an event, a Three Guys event, and WVU's baseball team knocked off Penn State. And I tell you, the crowd, I mean, that's a significant rivalry, and the crowd was about 80-20 West Virginia. It was, as Tony would say, it was a great night to be a Mountaineer wherever you were. And last night it was at the ballpark in Hagerstown. It was a really nice event.
Did you get to see the first pitch, the ceremonial first pitch?
Who threw it out? No.
Oh,
Who threw it
you
out?
missed that? Hop! Oh, my gosh. Andrew Wolf, the National Guardsman.
Oh, I did not.
Yes, Staff Sergeant Wolf threw out the first pitch last night prior to the ball game. Great
that's
moment.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, old guy in the back somewhere not paying attention. That's what it was. Sorry about that. Jeez.
Yeah, it was a great moment, and a great win last night.
Yeah.
Was that?
Well, that is a great moment. I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah. Joe Bricado has highlights of that, by the way, over at WVMetroNews.com as well. Hop, always appreciate it, buddy. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys. Have a great show.
Thank you very much. Coming up, TJ and I may be somewhat involved in the next story, the case of Mary Claire Akers and the ethics case that has been pursued against her. We'll get an update. Chris Dickerson from the West Virginia Record joins us next.
For over 30 years, High Technology Foundation has been committed to building a stronger West Virginia. Our mission, economic diversification. By fostering innovation and supporting tech initiatives, we pave the way for a brighter future. From cutting-edge research to tech-driven solutions, we're transforming the landscape. Join us in creating opportunities and driving progress. Let's build a diverse economy together. Visit WVHTF.org. High Technology Foundation, shaping West Virginia's future.
Senator Shelley Moore Capito is more than a true conservative and proud West Virginian. She's a champion of our way of life. She doesn't just fight, she delivers, working with President Trump to close the border and keep our families safe, protect our energy jobs, and cut taxes, and establishing the New River Gorge National Park, a powerful economic engine. Shelley Moore Capito, our senator, our champion.
I'm Shelley Moore Capito, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Capito for West Virginia.
Running a small business means wearing a lot of hats, and dealing with tech problems shouldn't be one of them. CityNet helps West Virginia businesses keep their technology running smoothly, from networks and computers to backup, security, and day-to-day support. Whether you don't have IT staff or you have a small team that could use extra help, CityNet can take care of the technology or work alongside your team to fill in the gaps. With proactive monitoring, fast local support, and solutions built on CityNet's fiber network, your business stays productive instead of reactive. Call us at 1-844-CityNet to get started.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
What do you know about hot dogs? Because we've been all about hot dogs this week.
I love hot dogs, and I love them with Miracle Whip.
Oh, God, I forgot. Never mind. I forgot
and
about
onions.
this. Okay.
I actually, yesterday morning, I had a hot dog for breakfast at 6:45 with onions and Miracle Whip.
And with that, we'll be back right after this.
Join Dave Allen weekdays for midday on Metro News Television.
On the next State of Minds.
When something like punk rock comes around, it's very anti everything, and people were really looking down on what they were brought up with. And for us, we found it was kind of fun to embrace it.
Is it a moment or like they're having an episode?
No, but you're right. You're right. We are having a moment. Yeah.
Sunshine, open roads, and a new Toyota from Dan Cava Toyota World. Lease an all-new Camry for as low as $398 a month. All new Tundras now up to $8,000 off. All new Tacomas now up to $4,500 off, or lease as low as $399 a month. $7,500 off the new BZ or 0% financing for 72 months. We've got a Toyota for you at Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
When it comes to cybersecurity, blind trust is a bad idea. CityNet helps businesses avoid risky connections with proactive monitoring, threat detection, and expert local support. Learn more at citynet.net today. A special prosecutor is urging the West Virginia Judicial Hearing Board to throw out ethics charges against a Kanawha County Circuit judge, saying her comments on a statewide radio program about the state's child welfare system did not violate the Code of Judicial Conduct. The judge is Kanawha County Circuit Judge Mary Claire Akers. The statewide radio program that she made those comments on, of course, is, well, this one. And joining us on Metro News Talkline to explain further this morning is Chris Dickerson. He writes for the West Virginia Record. Chris, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Doing well. Thanks for joining us. So, give us some more detail here. What is this special board, and why is it urging that these charges be thrown out?
So, and I'm sure most of your readers are aware, last year when Judge Akers had this hearing in Kanawha County about the state child care system. And, there's a lot of issues, and that's an entirely different subject that warrants more discussion, of course. But she had this hearing, and she had called then Secretary Alex Mayer to come into her courtroom and explain the process. And what it was boiled down to was, the state at the time was using hotels and like 4-H camps to house some foster children. And one of these children, a 12-year-old boy, if I remember, tried to commit suicide while he was in one of these hotels. It wasn't in the court record, so Judge Akers wanted to get some answers about it, so she called in Secretary Mayer just to find out what's going on, set up a system to oversee the steps so things like that wouldn't happen again. Well, a few days after she had this hearing, she came on your all show and was talking about what had happened in that hearing. It was public record. There was all kinds of people in the courtroom, 150 or so watching it online. And she talked about what had been discussed in that hearing. And she had experience as a county prosecutor before she became a judge. She talked about just in general the issues with child care legal cases. Well, the Judicial Investigation Commission, after that, there was a complaint filed against Judge Akers saying she shouldn't have went on the radio and talked about this stuff, and it sounded like she was anti-Division of Health Services and all that. And so since then, they've been going through this whole legal process of ethics issues with her. Well, through the process, a few months ago, Judge Akers' attorneys wanted to depose Teresa Tarr, who is the State Judicial Investigation Commission counsel. When that happened, she was recused from the case, and a special prosecutor, Rachel Cipoletti, who is with the Legal Disciplinary Council of the state, she took over the case. And after she reviewed everything, they decided that there just wasn't enough evidence here to continue with these charges against Judge Akers.
Chris, let me stop you right there. Here's what she said. Let me stop you right there. After investigation and a full and fair presentation of evidence in this matter, this from Cipoletti, the record fails to meet the burden of clear and convincing evidence on the charges as alleged against Judge Akers. Here's my question. Normal times, normal people, if the prosecutor doesn't want to prosecute, it's kind of game over. What happens here? Does the body have to listen to Cipoletti, or where do we go from here?
Well, now, here's the way the process goes. The Judicial Hearing Board, this filing that Cipoletti made Monday, it goes to the Judicial Hearing Board. They can still make their own decision, but oftentimes, most of the time, I won't say all the time, what the JIC, or in this case, Rachel Cipoletti, as a special prosecutor, they take that into heavy consideration. And then even after the Judicial Hearing Board makes their recommendation, it will still go to the state Supreme Court, who ultimately makes the final decision on how to handle this case with Judge Akers. I would think that what Cipoletti did this week takes a huge step into finalizing it, and I think the Supreme Court ultimately will agree with this ruling, but you never know for sure.
We're talking to Chris Dickerson from the West Virginia Record. And Chris, it seems there, I don't know if you would call it evidence, but growing support for Judge Akers in this case, that she did not commit any ethics violations, did not overstep by coming on this program and making the comments that she did. This is not the first. This is not the first. I would say letter of support, but there is growing support for that case that she, in fact, did not do anything wrong.
Yeah, and I've talked to attorneys and other judges, and I'm not going to name who they are, obviously, since this happened, and it's pretty much unanimous. People thought that these charges weren't warranted in this case, and I think I've actually heard from several people since I posted the story yesterday afternoon, and they all say, "Yeah, well, finally, someone's doing something right on this case," and all agree that they all almost unanimously all agree that Judge Akers did nothing wrong.
In your experience, I mean, this is your wheelhouse. These are the kinds of things you report on in the court system. Wouldn't this chill a judge or any officer of the court from wanting to talk to you? And that would limit the public's information in what is happening.
Yeah.
I mean, that seems to me what is the end result here.
And you know, as journalists, you all know this as well as I do, you know, judges are not going to talk to you about a specific case. I mean, every once in a while, they might explain something to you about a case if there's some kind of legal term or legal action that you don't understand, but they're not going to just come out and talk about the specifics of a case. I mean, even off the record, judges just don't do that, in my experience anyway, and I've been doing this 20-some years now. It's just verboten. You just don't do it. As you know, judicial candidates in West Virginia, they have these strict rules, which we've dealt with recently in other cases, but they just don't talk about issues that could come before the court because they don't want to give the appearance of impropriety.
Chris Dickerson with the West Virginia Record, the latest on the ethics investigation into Kanawha County Circuit Judge Mary Claire Akers. Chris, always appreciate it. Thanks for stopping by.
Anytime, guys. Thanks.
Maybe in a stroke of bad scheduling, we're going to talk to a judicial candidate. Coming up next, Laura Faircloth, candidate for the State Supreme Court of Appeals, is going to join us. This is Talkline on Metro News for 40 years, the voice of West Virginia. It's 11:30. Let's get an update from the Metro News Radio Network. Find out what's happening all across the great state of West Virginia.
Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Salango Law. Get results, no excuses.
Oh, thanks for tuning in. We caught some of that widespread daily record heat yesterday. At least 7 spots tied or broke a record high, including a lot of the burgs. Martinsburg, you got to 91 yesterday, Huntington 88, and also some daily warm record lows. Parkersburg got to a low of 68 degrees yesterday, Snowshoe low of 52. Another warm, breezy day. There's a near elevated fire danger day today with the southwest wind and warm conditions, and also watching for an expected this evening, a line of thunderstorms. Most of the state, find your spot here in the dark green. That is a marginal risk of severe weather. Some isolated large hail and damaging winds are possible this afternoon, this evening with the line of storms. Your Fly CRW forecast, it starts at home, and over these cities still well warmer than average too, with some records tied or broken and still some areas of showers and storms. Tampa 89 today, 90 tomorrow, 92 Saturday, approaching record highs again. From Panhandle to Panhandle, warm, showers and storms possible to likely this afternoon, this evening. Isolated severe weather and also a near elevated fire danger before the showers and storms arrive with the southwest breeze. Low near 60 tonight. Eastern areas between 78 to 90 today. Chance of showers and storms late. Southwest breeze, some near record warm lows overnight tonight. Upper 50s to low 60s. Watching for some expected showers and storms later today, with also the near elevated fire danger, warm, and lows in the 50s to near 60 tonight. In southern areas, a chance of afternoon evening showers and storms. Highs primarily low to upper 80s, and lows around the 50s to low 60s tonight. In Charleston, chance of showers and storms, 88 today, 84 tomorrow, 88 on Saturday, then a pattern change behind a sweeping, strong cold front. 62 with showers likely on Sunday, 70s middle of next week.
This is Ben Salango with Salango Law. Salango Law has earned a reputation for getting excellent results for our clients. With decades of experience handling thousands of cases, we know what it takes to deliver. Proudly voted Best in the Valley for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Charleston Gazette-Mail, Salango Law is deeply committed to giving back by investing in our community. From supporting local programs to making our region a better place to live, Salango Law is proud to be your trusted legal and community partner. Check us out at Salango Law.
On the next State of Minds.
When something like punk rock comes around, it's very anti everything, and people were really looking down on what they were brought up with. And for us, we found it was kind of fun to embrace it.
Is it a moment or like they're having an episode?
No, but you're right. You're right. We are having a moment. Yeah.
It may not feel like it. It kind of does today, but it won't be long before it is time to hit the waters and lakes. So get ready with great deals on pontoon and fishing boats at Lou Wendell Marine Sales. LouWendellMarineSales.com. Lou Wendell Marine Sales, we sell family fun. The primary election is coming up on May 12th. It is the election for the State Supreme Court of Appeals. Just a couple of reminders that early voting begins April 29th and April 21st. That is Tuesday, is the final day to register to vote or update your voter registration status. Joining us on MetroNews Talkline this morning is Laura Faircloth, candidate for the West Virginia Supreme Court of Appeals Division 1. She joins us on MetroNews Talkline. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing well. How about you?
Doing great. We appreciate you taking some time with us this morning. So what motivated you to run for the state Supreme Court?
Well, probably a couple of things. Number one is because I see a trend from a national level down that is punting many of the very important issues to be decided to the individual state Supreme Courts. So I think there's an opportunity for the West Virginia Supreme Court very soon to be taking a look at questions that need to be answered, that are answered in litigation, and hopefully will last for the next 250 years. I'd like to be part of that discussion, and I think I should be part of that discussion, and this is the other reason that I'm running. So often, too often, many of the justices to our Supreme Court of Appeals of West Virginia are first appointed by a governor, and then nobody runs against them because it's just not real smart to run against a judge or justice unless you're sure you're going to win, because you might be facing that individual in a case that's brought before that judge or justice, and you may feel that you have been compromised because you ran against that person. It's just a matter of fact, and it's the way things have been in Charleston for too long. So I want to be part of that elective process. I'm the only one of the candidates in my division who was first elected as the result of being in a competitive contest, and that was in 2016 when I was in a four-way race and actually was selected by the voters of the then 23rd Judicial Circuit to represent them on the bench. And I'm eternally grateful for that. Been the best experience of my life.
Your Honor, thank you for being here. One of the questions that I've asked to others who are seeking this office, there are several ways that judges can interpret the Constitution. There's textualism, there's originalism. Give us a sense of where you fall and how you interpret the Constitution when that matter comes before you.
Well, I like to use common sense and everyday language because a lot of people didn't go to law school and they don't understand what textualism is versus any other term that we might want to use. I am someone who, as all of the people would be required to do, and that is to take the oath of office, which is to support and defend the Constitution of the United States of America, as well as the Constitution of the state of West Virginia. So I look at that as two-faceted. Number one, what is the plain meaning of the doctrine? What is the plain meaning of the words that are written? And then if we have to construe it in any way at all to embrace the facts of the individual case that's in front of us, then we need to look at what would the intent of the founders or the framers have been. And when we can't do that, luckily for people that are going to be sitting on the Supreme Court of Appeals for West Virginia, we have four other justices to confer with, law clerks to work with. Stare decisis is the concept that says we have to follow the case law that has already been developed and not stray from it. So those are the things that are the principles that would guide me in my deliberations as to a constitutional issue. I had a constitutional issue on my own court that I found the statute to have been overly broad and therefore unconstitutional for the facts that I was applying to the case. The Supreme Court of Appeals of West Virginia upheld me, and I feel really comfortable about that because that was my effort, I suppose, without meaning it to be, to act in a way that I'll be required to act as a justice on the Supreme Court of Appeals. And the case dealt with a nonverbal autistic young child who had been exhibiting different behavior when she came home. She couldn't tell her mom what was going on, but she was bedwetting and acting out in ways they hadn't seen before. So mom was concerned that possibly something was going on in the school system that was creating this behavior. So what she did was put a listening device into her daughter's hair. Now we are a one party consent state, which means in West Virginia, you only have to have the consent of one party to be able to record a conversation with or without knowledge of the other people involved. In this particular case, the statute did not grant consent to a parent to give consent for a child. So I looked at what the intent was, what the plain meaning of the statute was, and then considered the context, which was it was a public school system. There were intercoms in place. There was no expectation of privacy. Cell phones are everywhere. None of the phones were prohibited from being in the classroom. So there was no expectation that the individual doing the talking, in this case, a teacher and two aides, would be protected. So I said that in that context, not having ever been heard before by the Supreme Court of Appeals of West Virginia, the statute was overly broad and unconstitutional, and the recording came in. The Supreme Court agreed.
We're talking with Laura Faircloth, candidate for the West Virginia Supreme Court of Appeals, Division 1. We live in hyper-politicized times. We live in hyper-polarized times. So how do you maintain independence as a judiciary?
Well, for me as a person who has been in the judiciary since 2016, I think I can answer it like this. I am the only independent registered to run in this contested election in Division 1. I am also the only woman who is running. And I think that that speaks to two things. Number one, I embraced what the legislature required in a nonpartisan election, which is no partisanship at all, and chose to register as an independent so that I could at least appear in all respects to be neutral and to not have an axe to grind or a policy agenda in place, which I do not. The other reason that I think that it's important to emphasize that I'm the only woman is because I'm not a good old boy. And I don't subscribe to backroom politics, which is where deals are made oftentimes. That's never going to happen in my courtroom. And it will not happen if I'm a justice on the Supreme Court of Appeals of West Virginia. And I'm not implying that it ever has before. But Charleston is known generically as the capital of backroom deals here in West Virginia. And we on the Eastern Panhandle all recognize that.
I realize you're limited in what you can say about a certain case, but obviously there are several high-profile issues right now. There's debate, there's court cases about vaccinations, who controls the Board of Education. Any thoughts you can share about that are within bounds in terms of how you might handle that, any reflection you may have, or any other cases that have come before you that touch on those issues?
Well, first of all, no other cases have been before me that have touched on that issue. And secondly, those are really the kinds of issues I'm not permitted to talk about. I can only say that I will handle those cases the same way I would handle any other case, which is to apply the specific facts that are agreed upon or that were contested below in the lower court. And here's what the Supreme Court does, and I'm so glad you've asked this question. We are not there to make policy. We're not a legislative branch. We're the third branch of government, and there's a reason for that. It's because we are the final arbiters, the final protection of freedom and liberty and democracy. So taking that as seriously as we are supposed to take it, my comment about it is, as justices on the Supreme Court, we're not there to agree or disagree with a policy decision. We are only there to decide if the circuit judge has made a mistake, or we call it an error of law, that has affected the outcome of the case or of the issue in an adverse way that it should not have. And we essentially are like umpires in a baseball game. We call fouls strikes and balls, we call outs and safe, and that's it. And to do anything more is trying to assume a role that we are not permitted to assume, because the sanctity of the judiciary is simply not to allow that.
Visiting with Laura Faircloth, candidate for West Virginia Supreme Court of Appeals, Division 1. Why should voters support you on May 12th?
I believe that my record since 2016 and taking the bench in 2017 is pretty clear. I believe that I am known as a judge who is fair and reasonable applies common sense to the rulings, and gets to the bottom line pretty quickly with a fair position. I'm a farm girl from way back. I am a 5th generation farmer, so I actually do have livestock, was taking care of them earlier today. And we get to the BS part of things pretty quickly. I think I'm known for that as a judge, and I'm also known to be fair and reasonable. And I would tell the people who are listening, thank you so much for listening, by the way, and being involved and being aware and educated. I will promise you that I will put the fair in Faircloth if you put Faircloth on the Supreme Court.
Laura Faircloth, candidate for West Virginia Supreme Court of Appeals, Division 1. Again, the May primary is May 12th. Early voting starts April 29th, and Tuesday is the final day to either register or update your voter registration status. Judge, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Best of luck to you.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Coming up, we'll get to a text or two. 304-TALK, 304 is the text line, and 800-765-TALK, the phone number. If you have a child who's a junior in high school in West Virginia or know someone who does, listen up. Here's your opportunity to win a full scholarship from West Virginia Wesleyan College that includes room, board, tuition, and fees. The 19th Annual West Virginia Scholar Program is presented by ZMM Architects and Engineers and the West Virginia Farm Bureau. The deadline to apply is May 3rd. That's coming up quickly. For details, go to WVMetroNews.com to apply. That's WVMetroNews.com. Application deadline is May 3rd. This is Talkline from the Encova Insurance Studios.
Boating season is almost here, and there's no better place to start your family's adventure than Lou Wendell Marine Sales. Family owned for over 40 years, Lou and his sons are West Virginia's largest Avalon pontoon dealer and true experts in boats, motors, and repairs. Explore their impressive inventory and score some of the best deals of the season right now. At Lou Wendell Marine Sales, they don't just sell boats, they sell family fun. Visit LouWendellMarineSales.com and get on the water in style. After all, the weekend's almost here.
If you have a child who's a junior in high school in West Virginia or know someone that does, please listen up. Here's your opportunity to win a full scholarship from West Virginia Wesleyan College that includes room, board, tuition, and fees. The 19th Annual West Virginia Scholar Program is presented by ZMM Architects and Engineers and the West Virginia Farm Bureau. The deadline is May 3rd. For details, go to WVMetroNews.com to apply. That's WVMetroNews.com. Remember, application deadline is May 3rd.
Tens of thousands of hardworking West Virginians earn their living in our state's growing natural gas industry, including thousands for Antero Resources, West Virginia's top natural gas producer. Antero's investments are boosting our local workforce and small businesses. We're proud to give back and invest locally to support West Virginia workers producing West Virginia energy. But the Mountain State's best days are ahead, and Antero Resources is just getting started. Visit AnteroResources.com to learn more.
Picture a community where every space tells a story. Those are the communities we're designing at ZMM Architects and Engineers. With a blend of creativity and technical expertise, we design spaces that inspire, innovate, and ignite change. From cutting-edge educational facilities to community-centric gathering spaces, we're committed to improving lives through design. Let us help you shape a brighter future for generations to come. Because at ZMM, it's more than architecture. It's about building your legacy.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
For over 4 decades, we've been rooted deep inside West Virginia. Through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Proudly serving your neighborhood since 1979. Your trusted partner in the community.
The health plan. We are here for you.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
In 1914, The same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you. We've got it down to a science, an absolute state of art. We do it all, restoration, cleaning, and reconstruction. When disaster strikes, just pick up the phone. We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you.
Looking for a show that talks about everything? You found it.
By the way, I'm really happy to talk about this as opposed to Ryan's opinion that being a sports fan is a bad thing.
He said that it kept him from being stressed about it, not that it was a bad thing, that he didn't have the stress. And, I mean, I've seen you pace.
Yeah, you're only 30 and you look like that.
So true.
Join Dave Weekly and Coop weekdays for Hotline on Metro News Television.
MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
Let's get a couple of texts in. 304 Talk 304, the text line. 800-765-TALK, the phone number. Hop, go home and mow your grass. It's ugly and lowering your neighbor's property values, says the texter. You don't suppose that's an actual neighbor that's complaining about Hoppy's grass there, do you?
Does Hoppy mow his own grass? I don't know. I don't mow mine.
Texter says, I live in White Sulphur Springs. Our town is the perfect reflection of the Greenbrier Hotel. That's to say we're broke, mismanaged, and no one has any ideas to fix the problems. West Virginia depends on tourism more than we care to admit. All these negative stories and dramas are just killing us. You get what you broadcast, says the texter. To the texter's point, I don't know if this is the point they're making, but it does shed a negative light on what is supposed to be a gem of the state, whether it's the current legal wranglings or it is, oh boy, I might have slipped there, Senator Justice's financial troubles. It sheds a bad light when things get bad. There is a thing as such as bad publicity. It can have a negative impact on what goes on because you want to draw people in. I mean, that's a tourist town. You got to draw people in to come there and then, spend copious amounts of money. But
I mean, I don't think it is what it was 10 years ago. That's my personal opinion.
304 Talk 304. A friend is at the Greenbrier frequently. He said the place has physically gone downhill, and it may be hard to find a proficient English speaker. Possession is 9/10 of the law, is actually a legal canon. Lewisburg traffic sucks. Getting off Interstate Light goes from red to green and nobody moves. Lewisburg is not the coolest small town. It's the slowest small town. 304 Talk 304, talking about Iran. Dave and TJ, it amazes me that we buy or invest in China as a nation. It's been reported they have been buying oil from Iran, and Iran has been accused of supporting terrorism in the Middle East. And what about China's relationship with North Korea? American dollars being spent by Americans providing revenue to China through their products. And some think Donald Trump is the problem, says the texter.
Isaac talked about this, and I'll say this. Watch this petrodollar thing. China has been trying to get oil bought in their currency for some time now to create the yuan dollar when it comes to petrochemicals. And why is that important? Because if someone buys oil with $1, what does that country do? They don't really have one option. They reinvest in U.S. treasuries. And if they're not buying it in dollars, they don't have dollars to reinvest. So keep your eye on this petrodollar issue and see and watch whether or not it becomes a bigger part of the war or not. But watch what happens with that, because we got a runway here, and we need to watch what goes on in regard to that.
Texter says, declare victory and come home. President Trump said a month ago, we had a huge win. Continue, and this just gets worse, as we have seen. Great discussion with Isaac.
Smart guy.
Yeah. Straight up Hormuz was not an uncertainty. It was a known risk that other presidents deftly avoided. This is what happens when a stupid abuser, egomaniac who is easily manipulated into being stupid because he thinks it will personally benefit him. This texter suggests, Hoppy, empty your retirement account and purchase the Greenbrier. Hoppy Acres. What a great ring.
I have an idea. I can see the exhibit now. Make your own Adirondack chair with Hoppy at the Greenbrier.
You can do it in the bunker. You should just have Ken Burns do a documentary on the Greenbrier. You two have been talking about it all week now. Well, things keep happening.
Big story.
And this texter is bringing disco back, like totally. Somebody's got to do it.
Are you a fan of disco?
Do I look like a fan of disco, TJ?
Saturday Night Fever, one of your top.
Oh, yeah, buddy. You know me. Give me a leisure suit. 304 Talk, 304 the text line. Back to wrap it up in a moment.
If sinus and allergy discomfort are impacting your daily routine, the experts at the WVU Medicine Sinus and Allergy Center can help you find relief. Our team of ear, nose, and throat specialists work together to help you breathe easier. With exceptional care for sinus and allergy issues, we provide adults and children with the most advanced ENT care available in West Virginia. Call 855-WVU-CARE or visit wvumedicine.org/ENT.
Coal-based generation remains the backbone of West Virginia's energy portfolio, ensuring reliability, security, and affordable electricity throughout the region. Our coal plants are engineered for performance, designed to run most efficiently at or near a 70% capacity factor. This level of operation is not arbitrary. It's based on sound engineering principles, scientific analysis, and has been formally adopted by the West Virginia Legislature as a reasonable target for optimal performance. When our coal fleet operates near that benchmark, it provides stable power to the grid, maintains cost efficiency, and supports thousands of good-paying jobs across our state. Coal generation also drives local tax revenue that sustains schools, infrastructure, and community services. Working in partnership with state leaders and the Trump administration, we're ensuring that our coal fleet remains modern, efficient, and ready to power West Virginia and beyond for decades to come. This message brought to you by the West Virginia Coal Association and Friends of Coal.
Looking for a career that truly matters? Healthcare offers stability, great benefits, and careers that are in demand right now. From patient care to technology and support roles, healthcare careers offer flexibility and opportunity. Not sure where you fit? Take the quick healthcare career quiz at explorehealthcareerswv.com. Discover the path that's right for you. Healthcare careers, where passion meets purpose.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Longer days, warmer drives, and better deals at Dancava GMC. Hit the road in one of our new luxury GMC Acadias. Take your pick from our massive selection. Now up to $5,500 off select new Acadias and 3.9% for 60 months. The great deals continue with our large selection of quality pre-owned vehicles. All this and more at Dancava GMC in Bridgeport. Shop the road.
Download Metro News Television on your iPhone or Android. Search Metro News Television in your app store. Create an account today to get alerts and watch all live and archived content. Download now.
I'm Sean Kovich, Mountaineer Golf Coach. When disaster strikes your home, business, or golf game, call the restoration company the Mountaineers call. Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration.
Patients who have allergies and sinusitis, they have worse quality of life on many levels. At the WVU Medicine Sinus and Allergy Center, we provide all the most recent technology in in-office procedures to help patients who cannot breathe through their nose. Patients come in, within half an hour they can leave. Whatever problem with the sinus and allergy you're having, we can help you get the right treatment.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong.
Of course, I'd be remiss if I did not mention Marshall baseball picking up a nice non-conference win on the road at Ohio State last night as well. Good day for baseball all around. Jackpots are growing in West Virginia. Jackpots are on the rise every week. Powerball hits Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. Mega Millions lights up on Tuesdays and Fridays. That's 5 chances a week to get in on life-changing jackpots. Play in-store and online, 18 plus to play. Please play responsibly. The Powerball jackpot is $75 million. The Mega Millions jackpot is $130 million, so go ahead, play today. Producer Jake texted me during the break and said, Disco Dave has a good ring to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, guess who just got fired? Producer Jake.
You can't do that.
I probably can't, but I'll try.
I see some AI in your future with like a pink leisure suit. Yeah.
I can picture it. I can picture that. All right, coming up tomorrow, Jeff Kessler is going to join us, Democrat running for the party's nomination for U.S. Senate, plus Styrewalt and Steam Release. See you then. This is Talkline on MetroNews for 40 years, the voice of West Virginia.